crazy day in the United States. We get a lot of people watching this show on YouTube from around the world. And for those who are watching from another country right now, please come help us. There's a big hole in the ship and it's sinking. And can you feel the general election anxiety? It's in the air. It's in our bones, right? Election day is 3 weeks from today. We only have 2 Tuesdays left before we pick a new president. We keep hearing that this is the most important election of our lives, and it is the most important election of our lives because we have the most ridiculous major candidate of our lives. Case in point, Donald Trump just did a podcast with a group of guys, 4 young bros, who don't know that the words wary and weary mean different things. But that aside, Trump made his second appearance with the Nelk Boys on the Full Send podcast yesterday, where once again the conversation veered dangerously towards me.
The talk show hosts, are they great or do we need to make them great again and kind of go one by one here?
Oh, he's terrible. He's
great or great again, Jimmy Kimmel?
Well, he's not, he's not. First of all, they all have bad ratings. The one that's the most successful is Greg.
Is who?
Greg Gutfeld.
Greg, he's the guy. Oh, never mind.
Jimmy Kimmel, we got to make him great again.
Well, Jimmy Kimmel's a loser. Look, we would do Jimmy Kimmel. I'd do Jimmy Kimmel. I did him a lot.
Maybe confusing me with Stormy Daniels. I don't know. 3 times. We've been on almost 22 years. You were on 3 times. Not a lot. Mike, the situation from Jersey Shore, was on this show more times than you. But go on.
He used to greet me on the sidewalk outside of his studio. I'd come in. This was before politics, of course. But I'd come in, and he'd be standing on the sidewalk. Oh, sir, may I bring you in? He'd bring me in every time.
And by every time, he means no times. He loves telling this made-up story. Never did I ever stand on the sidewalk to greet Donald Trump or any guest. Never happened to... You guys here in the studio have been out on that sidewalk. You think I'm going out there? No way. Our guests don't even come in from the sidewalk. They come in through the alley in the back, where I also don't stand out there to greet them. The only time I've ever walked out on the sidewalk for Donald Trump was to urinate on his star on the Walk of Fame. That's it. But you know what? If he wants to come back and accept the invitation I made last night that he take a cognitive test against Kamala Harris, I will for sure roll out the burnt orange carpet and go meet him on Hollywood Boulevard. The guys that host this podcast are upset with me because I called them doofuses the last time Trump was on, which I thought was a nice way of putting it, but I guess they did not agree.
Kimmel threw shots at us for having you on the first time.
He called us doofuses when we had you on.
You know what you do?
And guess what? We
ask him how many.
What he did.
Ask him. Yeah, you do bigger. Yeah, you do. His show's dying. This one show is dying. Colbert is dying. I don't know. They get paid, I assume, a lot of money.
Yeah.
I could get guys for $75,000 a year that have far more talent than him. I'll take, as an example, any one of you.
I don't know. Do you think the doofuses understand that was an insult? I'm not sure that they do. But I tell you what, I would sooner vote for any one of those guys than I would Donald Trump for president. I am genuinely questioning his mental health. He's been doing some really weird stuff lately. Last night in Pennsylvania, he held a doozy of a town hall moderated by noted puppy assassin Kristi Noem. She traveled up from North Dakota. What a mess this was. First of all, he can't seem to remember that the election is November 5th, not January 5th.
I'll tell you, if everything works out, if everybody gets out and votes on January 5th or before.
Yeah, or whenever, take your time. Then after the medical emergency happened in his head, there was some kind of medical emergency in the room.
Hold it, please. A doctor, please. Some problems. That looks a little bad. This is a little bit of a tough one, I think. Little tough. You know, while we're waiting, and if they could play Ave Maria, if you can get it, Justin, let's go if you can. It's a little quick notice. Hey. Hey. Great. Beautiful though, right? Listen to that. It's nice. He's going to be okay. We have nice music. We're together. Not bad.
Yes.
Not bad.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, everything's going perfectly, just as planned. Then there was another medical emergency. They had to carry another person out. And then, after only taking 5 questions at a town hall, he just said, to hell with it, and started asking his tech guys to play songs off his iPad.
If my guys can hear me, 2 things. Put up the chart, my favorite chart, and let's listen to Pavarotti. Put on Pavarotti singing Ave Maria. Nice and loud. Turn it up louder. We want a little action here. Turn it up louder.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I guess he enjoyed that, or you'd never know it from his face, because Flacido Domingo completely now stopped taking questions and just started playing songs.
So play YMCA. Go ahead. Let's go. Nice and loud.
Here we go, everybody.
Young man, there's no need to feel down. Say YMCA. It's fun to stay in the YMCA. It's fun to stay at the YMCA.
Fun, right? I mean, fun. Goodbye, good night. Good night, everybody, right? Nope.
I went to the doctor, and guess what he told me? Guess what he told me? He said, girl, you better try to have fun no matter what you do.
He played music and kind of did that baby toddler jumping dance that he does for a full 39 minutes. He just stood there swaying like a manatee tangled in seaweed.
Let me hear that music, please. Let me
Everyone,
hear
let's
that
thank
music.
President
Loud.
Trump.
Nice and loud.
Ho incontrato per strada
You took the roll right out of my eyes, lady. Why? Why remain on stage for 39 minutes? Just pretend it was one of Don Jr.'s piano recitals and leave. Go home. Trump's director of communications was quick to put a positive spin on this. He wrote, total love fest at the Pennsylvania town hall. Everyone was so excited they were fainting, so real Donald Trump turned to music. It was a love fest. It wasn't a fire fest. It was a love fest. I want you to imagine a world in which Kamala Harris stood there at a rally and said nothing, just danced around for almost 40 minutes. Fox News would have blocked out a full week to cover it. It would have been like the O.J. Chase meets 9/11 at once. But when Trump does it, it's a love fest. Many are now seriously questioning whether Trump is healthy enough to be running for president. So what does he do? Well, he does what he always does. He questions whether his opponent is healthy enough to be running for president. Dr. Doolittlehands was up attacking Kamala's medical records at 12:43 a.m. He wrote, she suffers from urticaria, defined as a rash of round red welts on the skin that itch intensely, sometimes with dangerous swelling, also known as hives, by the way. She also has allergic rhinitis and allergic conjunctivitis, a very messy and dangerous situation. These are deeply serious conditions that clearly impact her functioning. No, those are hives and hay fever. Allergic rhinitis is hay fever, and allergic conjunctivitis is when you get red eyes from hay fever. Both very serious. You can't be president with hay fever. What if the Russians bombard the White House with hay? My God, you'd have to bring in SEAL Team Zyrtec. Trump actually knows a lot about skin conditions. He suffers from having the thinnest skin of any person ever. And this is his excuse for why he hasn't released his medical report. He wrote, I put out more medical exams than any other president in history. Not true. And aced 2 cognitive exams. The doctor stated that my cognitive exams were exceptional. I am far healthier than Clinton, Bush, Obama, Biden, but especially Kamala. Also, I am far too busy campaigning to take time from the 22 days left, as I'm using every hour of every day campaigning. Last night, he spent 39 minutes dancing on stage for no reason, but he's spending every minute. Dr. Demental was off the charts this morning. He wrote, Kamala's medical report is really bad. My report is perfect. No problems. And it's in all caps, so that means it's true, right? I mean, you know we can see that you're fat, right? I mean, we can see your body. You're not... This guy, he wasn't healthy enough to be in the military during the draft, but 60 years later, he's the healthiest man alive. He's perfect. And while he is too busy to release his medical records, Scammy Hagar did have time today to launch his own cryptocurrency, the World Liberty Fund token, WLF, or Wolf for short, as in this is a wolf in sheep's tokens. Trump's son Eric is running the fund. He's officially now America's very own Nigerian prince, which I would give anything to hear Donald Trump explain what he thinks cryptocurrency is. I'd watch 10 hours of that. He doesn't even understand how tariffs work. Trump made a disastrous appearance today at the Economic Club of Chicago. It was obvious to everybody that he had no idea what he was talking about. He was interviewed by the editor-in-chief for Bloomberg, this guy John Micklethwaite, who tried to explain that the cost of tariffs get passed on to consumers here in the United States.
What about consumers, people out there?
They're going to be the biggest beneficiaries.
Critics say your tariffs will end up being like a national sales tax.
No,
because
the country's
if you have America at the moment has $3 trillion worth of imports, you're going to add tariffs to every single one of them. That is going to push up the cost for all those people who want to buy foreign goods.
No, what's going
that is
to
just
happen?
simple mathematics, President Trump.
It's not. Yeah, it is, but not the way you figured. I was always very good at mathematics.
The guy who managed to bankrupt the casino was always very good at mathematics. Our floundering father was all over the place today. He's uninformed, defensive. At one point, he suggested a 2,000% tariff on imported cars. He also wants a 20% tax on all imported goods. Millions of Americans who enjoy things like alcohol imported from countries like Mexico would have to pay 20% more, which is, a lot of money and a major concern for a lot of people like this prominent gentleman who's using his platform to fight back.
Un mensaje muy importante de Guillermo Rodríguez.
Hola, me llamo Guillermo Rodríguez. Hola, los Estados Unidos necesita tequila. Tequila es muy bueno. Donald Trump es un pendejo. Trump quiere hacer el tequila más caro. Con Trump nosotros vamos a pagar más dinero por margaritas con sal. Margaritas sin sal. Cadillac margaritas. Mango margaritas. Skinny margarita. Y un shot de tequila. Este noviembre no votes por Donald Trump, vota por Don Julio. Salud. Y gracias.
A message from el guapo, bien parecido, mucho gusto y potente, Guillermo.
I'm Guillermo Rodríguez, and I'm too drunk to approve this message.
You got my vote, amigo.